this is your notes for chapter 12.6, Making Predictions. This is my 6th video in a row, guys, so sorry, I gotta sit, getting tired. Alrighty, your essential question is tell whether you expect to be exactly right if you make a prediction based on a sample. Why or why not? Tell whether you expect to be exactly right if you make a prediction based on a sample. Explain your answer. Again, we have 3 vocabulary words. All 3 were in our vocabulary lesson we did a few weeks ago. Prediction, population, and sample. Remember, a prediction is kind of like the weather forecast. They don't really necessarily know what the weather's going to do, but they're pretty close because they use a lot of data. They use a lot of sample data. They use a lot of large population data and things like that to figure out what their predictions are going to be. Population is asking everybody. The population of Travis Middle School would be all 1,070 some odd students. And then the sample data would be a small group, maybe asking just the 6th graders. That would be a sample. Or maybe just the math classes, one period. That would be a sample. When you're making predictions, you can either use the theoretical probability to make your predictions based on what you think should happen, or you can use sample data. Our first example says, based on sample survey, an airline claims that flights have a 92% probability of being on time. I don't know about y'all, but I've flown a few times and I think their survey is a little off. 92% on time. Okay? That's the probability. So your prediction, you're asked, is if you have 1,000 flights, how many will be on time? So what you have to ask yourself is, what's 92% of 1,000? Okay, well, 92% of 100 would be 92. Add an extra 0 on it. So 92% of 1,000 equals 920 flights. Okay, so I would predict that 920 out of those 1,000 flights are going to be on time. Of course, when I fly, I'm sure I'm on the other 80 flights that aren't on time. Alrighty. Your next example, is saying using theoretical probability. If you were to roll a die or a number cube 24 times, how many times do you expect to roll a 5? Okay? Need my eraser here. So, rolling a 5, predict a 5 in 24 rolls. Okay? So predicting a 5, the probability of rolling a 5, theoretical probability, is 1 out of 6. If out of 24 rolls, how many of them are 5s? Well, you set up a proportion. We've done proportions before. 1 out of 6. And remember, we're in middle school now, so we don't put question marks or gray boxes. We put an X. Okay? So 1 over 6 equals X over 24. 24 times 1 is 24 divided by 6. Remember, we cross multiply. Alright, so 24 divided by 6 gives me 4. So I'm going to predict that the 5 will come up 4 times. Okay? And that's your predictions.